Uh, are you aware of any good arguments against deism?
Deism. What do you mean?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Uh, let's
I
see.
was just telling Hijab that
You mean
something. Yeah.
a non-intervening God that
Yeah. So deism. Obviously, mashallah, Hijab can give you a thorough answer on that. But just to sort of save time, brother Bassam Zawadi has actually published on deism. And when I read it, it was honestly the best thing I have ever seen. I'm not even talking about from a Muslim,
Really?
even from like a Christian or whoever. It's just something he's published on academia.edu. I think it's the only thing that I've read of his, but I mean, that was the best refutation.
What's he saying? Give us some.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll give you an argument. The argument that he was like, what we do in our Go Rap is we speak about how it's basically part of Allah's wisdom, that Allah speaks to us, and he just, Bassam just really puts that in an academic way. I would say for the purposes of the questioner, it's sufficient that the idea that Allah created everything and just left it to run by itself would basically mean Allah is doing something superfluous, that there's no meaning, there's no foresight, there's no end goal. And that's obviously not part of perfection. Part of perfection would be that you would do things for a reason. You wouldn't just do stuff without any justification at all. So that's what we need to keep in mind when it comes to deism. Deism, I believe, is actually quite popular. It's a lot more popular than I think atheism. I think atheists are loud, deists are not loud, but I think there are actually a lot of deists out there. How would you address deism?
Yeah, I think what you said is right. And obviously there's so many verses in the Quran that actually attack deism. That Allah has not created this heaven and earth for play and amusement, and if he wanted to, he would have taken a monk from among himself something to do for idle time and so on. So these actually, I always believe that the verses of the Quran are the best, because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he created heavens and earth bil haqq, in truth. Now, if he's mudabbir al-kawn, if he is the one who's meant to be maintaining the kawn or the existence, why would he be aloof to it? Like, how can you be? And this is actually kind of a paradox. If you're sustaining something or maintaining it, it kind of disqualifies you from being aloof from it. Because if do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. If we can establish, I think from the best logical way is if we establish that Allah or the necessary existence, say the necessary existence is it's pre-eternal and post-eternal, and they are necessary, therefore everything depends upon him, and so on, all those things that we know from the contingency argument, that the assumption is that everything needs him in order to continue. And if everything needs him in order to continue, that means he is, by logical necessity, always present in the running of the universe. So he's not leaving the universe.
Yeah.
So the only exception that deists will have to make is for the human being. So Allah is maintaining everything, and then the idea is that the human being, these sentient creatures now, they're just left like that.
Yeah.
Which for me would be completely like, they would have to explain that. Why is that the case?
That's a good point. You're putting the onus on them.
Yeah, the onus would have to be on them, because if this necessary existence, if we get them to a point of saying that everything depends upon him and always, and that he's maintaining it and sustaining it always, then the question is, then he is involved always. And if he's always involved, then that's involvement is personality, if you like. It's him being personally involved.
Yeah.
And so if he's involved and he's personally involved, then this idea of deism already is like 90% gone. Now you have to ask the question, why would the human being be the exception to the rule of everything being maintained? How could the human being be the exception to the rule? And there's a beautiful ayah in the Quran, man, in Surah At-Tawbah, which goes like this. Which goes, let me get there. Allah malja'a min Allah illa ilayh. Yeah, this is such a powerful, like we were talking about the expressions of the Quran. There's no refuge, and basically he's talking about these three people that were
yeah.
there were three people that were left behind, and then
the earth was constricted.
وضاقت عليهم الأرض بما رحبت. And then it says this beautiful phrase which says that they thought that there was no malja, there was no refuge from Allah except to Him.
Subhanallah.
So they knew that there was no malja, there was no refuge from Allah except for Him. So in other words, we are forced to be in a relationship with Allah by virtue of the fact that He created and is maintaining, and there's nowhere we can go where Allah is not in control, basically. And if that's the case, we're forced to be in a relationship. The deism is basically untenable from that angle.
Yeah, absolutely.